Roll call, please.
Mayor Whitmire.
Present.
Councilmember Peck.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson will be absent. Councilmember Kamen.
Present.
Councilmember Evans Shabazz.
Here.
Councilmember Flickinger. Here. Councilmember Thomas will be absent. Councilmember Huffman.
Present.
Councilmember Castillo.
Here.
Councilmember Martinez.
Here.
Councilmember Pollard.
Here.
Councilmember Castex Tatum.
Here.
Councilmember Ramirez.
Here.
Councilmember Davis. Councilmember Carter. Councilmember Salinas. And Councilmember Alcorn.
Here.
Need a motion to adopt the minutes of February 3rd and 4th.
Castex Tatum move.
Next second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Procedural motions.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move Jacob Clementich to the top of the 1-minute non-agenda, and also Janine Sizak to the bottom of the 3-minute agenda.
All motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Anyone else? If not, call our first speaker, Mr. Secretary.
Amy Erickson. To be followed by Kyle Rogers.
Now, Sandra Evans, I just walked
Yes, ma'am.
You're on the list.
Okay. Mayor, council members, good afternoon. Amy Erickson speaking on agenda items 16 through 21, which ask you to approve $2 billion in bonds for Houston First to expand the GRB Convention Center and to demolish the Avenida South parking garage. 1 year ago, People for Polk formed. Through sustained community advocacy, we brought transparency to a process moving forward largely out of public view. Houstonians now better understand what is being asked of them, and importantly, who is being asked to sacrifice. 7 public streets and 4 development lots are being surrendered. These are not abstract lines on a map. They are public assets connecting people to jobs, schools, and transits. Houstonians are now navigating long and consistent detours that add minutes and miles to their daily commutes, while Houston First remains fully operational. Other cities have paused convention business to share construction impacts. Houston has chosen a different path, one that shifts sacrifice outward into neighborhoods and onto commuters and small businesses. A 1,400-space public garage is being removed just as Houston prepares to host the World Cup. The city is sacrificing long-term parking revenue. Houston First's own 2025 annual report shows hot tax collections at 59%, down nearly 9% from 2024. Yet this expansion concentrates hot tax revenue within Houston First. Arts, cultural, and entertainment organizations across Houston that also depend on these funds are being asked to sacrifice their share. And now Houstonians are being asked to sacrifice financially. As of December 2025, the ratio of unhedged variable rate debt for convention and entertainment reached 48%, nearly twice the advised ratio. While exceedance is acceptable on an interim basis, these bonds lock Houstonians into an estimated $900 million in interest over 30 years, nearly $1 billion, not for services, not for neighborhoods, but for debt service. Houston First aggressively projects $20 billion in economic impact to justify this project. Houston needs revenue grounded in concrete economic realities, not aspirational models. Texas SB 1057 is a great piece of legislation that creates real tools to fund projects like this. However, the state enabling authority does not absolve local elected officials, such as yourselves, from oversight of such development. Despite the scale of this request, oversight amounts to an October 2025 MOU weighted heavily in Houston First's favor, offering little enforceable public protections. With $2 billion on the table, a design preserving Polk Street access should be achievable. If not, the funding is sufficient to build meaningful alternatives, not simply eliminate access and ask communities to absorb the loss. So I ask council to pause and question who is sacrificing and who is not. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Kyle Rogers. Scott Singleton. To be followed by Donna Rickenbacker.
Hello, Mayor and Council. I would like to also... Oh, okay. I would like to address agenda items 16 through 21 as well regarding the issuing of bonds for the benefit of Houston First. The 4 bonds total $2 billion that only represent the ante to clean up old debt and pay for what Houston First has already spent. Other than that, the December 9th Budget and Fiscal Affairs Committee presentation had very few details. There's no transparency, public reporting, or public oversight of how these funds have been spent or committed, or how whatever is left over is intended to be spent. This is only phase 1. Houston First will have to return to council to ask for more bonds later to continue much less complete the project. Bonds are debt. By approving these bonds, council is putting the city into debt for a very dubious future revenue model. The Hunden study has never been released, and the wonderfully optimistic $20 billion in future hot tax revenue is unlikely to materialize. When it doesn't, the city, indeed our children, will be on the hook for this debt. And then item 21 is going to tear down an existing 1,400-spot parking garage just in time for World Cup to be replaced with a 900-spot parking garage sometime later on. Socialize the risk, privatize the profits. You can't build a 100-year infrastructure project on a 4-year election cycle. If you're going to give Houston First a blank check, you need to hold them accountable. Thank you for your time.
Next.
Donna Rickenbacker, to be followed by Janine Sisak.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna Rickenbacker, and I'm here in connection with agenda item 24. I'm here to be responsive to any questions you may have on this agenda item, which is an award of home funds to an affordable housing development, a senior housing development that's located in Mayor Pro Tem Martha Castick Tatum's district. If there are no questions, then I'm also here to thank you very much to Mayor Pro Tem for all the hard work that she's done for this project and to get it to this point, and for the City of Houston's housing department. You all have a fantastic housing department. They've done a tremendous job, and I very much appreciate their patience on this award and getting us across the finish line. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next.
Janine Sisak, to be followed by Jacob Clementich.
Hi, good afternoon, council members. My name is Janine Sisak. I'm Senior Vice President and General Counsel of DMA Development Company, and I'm here to talk about the Sunstone, which is one of the projects that's included in agenda items 12 and 15 for your consideration. I'm sorry that I was not able to attend the Housing and Affordability Committee last week. However, one of my associates was present and was able to huddle up after the meeting to discuss with the stakeholders some of the concerns shared during that committee. I watched the tape and saw that there was some discussion about drainage, and I want to be clear that we as developers met with the MUD in January about drainage, and the meeting was very productive, and we left there with an understanding that if DMA could come up with an engineering solution that dealt with the drainage in accordance to the higher standards set forth by Atlas 14, that there would be no objections from the MUD. And I want to be clear that state law is pretty established that every site that's developed in Texas needs to handle their drainage on site and not result in negatively impacting any neighbors with additional water that they wouldn't have incurred without this development. So I'm here to say we are committed to working through drainage. Our engineers and the MUD engineers are already in contact. There's either an engineering solution and that issue is resolved, or there's not an engineering solution and we don't move forward. What I do want to make clear here is the support resolution process required by TDHCA is a first step in a long process. It's not meant to talk about details like drainage. There are other City of Houston processes, permitting, site plan development, and of course in our case, this MUD approval that needs to happen down the road. But I guess the surprise for us last week was that one of the neighbors asked that the City of Houston make no approvals until the drainage studies are complete. And just the way the timing of this process works, I mean, that effectively would kill our deal before we even got to sit down with the engineers to look at the drainage. So I encourage you all to think about the resolution process in terms of, does our project meet the policy objectives as set forth by staff? And did the slate of projects that you're approving honor the distribution policy that's outlined in that submittal process? In full transparency, other neighbors in the area have raised other concerns. Super Neighborhood 17 has told us that there was another tax credit developer.
Your time has expired.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But in closing, I will say they've raised other concerns. We've addressed it by lowering our units to 65 units, and promising not to go more than 2 stories. So we've tried to address the other concerns of the neighborhood. Thank you so much for your service and your time today.
1 second. Councilmember Huffman.
Thank you. And so you mentioned the engineering. Do we know when that will happen or when there will be an answer?
I think probably we could get our arms around it initially in 30 to 60 days. But quite frankly, since we met with the MUD 2 weeks ago, our engineers have been playing phone tag. I mean, it just takes several weeks in this environment to get people to have the time to get together. So it cannot happen by the tax credit deadline of March 1st. I mean, that's just simply not possible given the timing.
And so if the tax credit deadline comes and we don't have that information, are you saying that if the information comes later and there's not an engineering solution, then the project won't go forward?
Right. We need the MUD's approval. And so if we can't convince the MUD that we've solved the problem, then it won't move forward.
Got it. Also, last week, I think, during the meeting, there was an issue that came up about, on the application, that said that letters of community support have been received for this project, but there really hadn't been any. Can you speak to that?
I think there was a challenge with the way the form was. We wanted to attach something that showed that we were in the process of gaining support, and in order to attach it, we clicked the button, and maybe there was a better way we could have done it because it's been perceived as being dishonest or misleading on our part. And, in retrospect and for next year, we'll handle it differently. But we wanted to show you in particular as the council member that we had reached out. We reached out to Super Neighborhood 17 in December. We were talking with them. And the feedback again was someone tried this before. It wasn't well received. And we said, tell us why. And they gave us their reasons, and we said, okay, how about we do fewer units in 2-story? We'll agree to a 30-foot buffer. We'll agree to a wall as high as the city of Houston will allow us to build. So we were clicking the box to tell you we're working on it.
Got it.
That's all. So I apologize for that. Looking at it again, there was definitely a better way that we could have done it.
No problem. And it seems that the Super Neighborhood's meeting tomorrow evening, and so y'all will be present for that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy to follow up with your office to tell you how that goes. But again, in full transparency, they have told us multiple times that our chances are very, very slim. So, I don't, and I get that I feel bad that the whole slate of tax credit deals might get tagged because of this issue, but whatever. You guys leave room for error. It's just, I guess what I'm saying is I'm going tomorrow. I have 3 minutes to plead my case, and we'll see. We'll see how I do. But I don't expect to change that many minds, but I'll do it if I change 3 minds. It's still worth my time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you. Next.
Councilman Martinez has a procedural motion.
Councilman Martinez.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I move to rearrange the list to where Robin Fournette goes prior to James Warren Ards on the speaker's list under the 2-minute non-agenda.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say yes. Those opposed nay. Motion passes. Jacob. What's cooking?
Well, I went to Tom's Barber Shop and I got something that you can't get, and that is a haircut. But you can but you can get a beard cut if you grow a beard.
Thank you, Jason.
Wait, I want to, since I got all polished up, I have something to say to Councilmember Cameron, Councilmember Hubbin, Councilmember Kasich Tatum, Councilmember Peck, Councilmember Alcorn, Councilmember Salinas, Councilmember Carter, and especially Councilmember Castillo. 2 days from now is a special day. You know what it is? Valentine's Day. So will y'all be my Valentines? Oh, you're lovely. You got my vote.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Next,
Rodney Underwood,
Jacob.
Sandra Evans, to be followed by Robin Fournette.
Yes, I apologize for stepping up a minute ago. I've been here, this is my third time coming. I have the same issue with my neighbor, only it's gotten worse. And I know that you all hooked me up with two different agencies, the police department and Shabazz. So I haven't gotten any help. The situation's gotten worse, and I don't feel good coming back in front of y'all. I hope y'all don't get offended, but it's the only thing I know to do to try to get some help. So it's like it's cameras in my house somehow and listening devices around my house. I haven't been able to live in my own house, and I'm paying mortgage, you know. So it's just getting next to me, and I need some help with it. I can't afford $3,500 to have professional people to come out. I've called about that, about coming to find and remove the devices. The police said they're not able to do it. So if I can be referred,
your time has expired.
Anything, I need some help. That's why I'm back.
Councilor Evans Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Evans. And I don't know if we're related or not, but I'm going to try to see what I can do for you, certainly. That was just a little joke.
Yes,
anyway, I have Ingram over there by the door, and she can help you to perhaps get some relief from what you're dealing with.
Yes.
And so if you will talk to her, let's see what we can do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Next,
Robin Fournette, to be followed by James Warren Ards.
Hello, and thank you for saying my name right. Good afternoon, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Robin Fournette, and I'm here to raise some concerns about the waste, duplication, and the unjust treatment of several employees from the Houston Airport System. First, at IAH, the Airport Operations Center, or AOC, is the heart of the airport. We are the department passengers and employees call when they need help, the team that ensures the safety and security of travelers 24/7, 365 days a year, and we have done so successfully for many years. Our employees are highly tenured with decades of experience handling emergencies, managing security-weighted events, and keeping the airport secure. Yet HAS leadership is in the process of creating a new division, terminal operations, that duplicates the very work the AOC performs. This is not innovation. This is duplication. In 2025, the Ernst & Young study identified the issue of duplication and waste, yet HAS leadership is moving forward with this duplication, which goes against this study. Recently, City Council approved the Master Classification Plan 2025-783, Item 8, that created a new position at pay grades 24 and 26. These rows directly duplicate existing AOC positions currently at pay grades 14 and 23. This represents a significant and justified increase in pay at terminal ops. At a time when the city budget is under extreme scrutiny, a wealth of knowledge within the AOC is being sidelined while city dollars were spent recreating a system already in place. Meanwhile, the AOC was forced into a hiring freeze despite an overtime budget that exceeds $99,000 and growing. We are currently at 126% of the FY 26 budget, and we have not been adequately staffed for our department for quite some time. Per HAS leadership, the hiring freeze is being justified because of the Ernst & Young study, but the study is being used to add higher pay for terminal op positions instead of investing in the AOC. This hiring freeze has resulted in employee burnout, rising overtime costs, and a critical department being ignored again.
Councilman Kamen.
Thank you. I wanted to thank you all for being here. I believe we have another speaker coming. Do you have any specific asks of council? I know you're raising some of these issues, especially as it pertains to duplications and overtimes. Could you clarify for us some of the specific asks? And maybe the next speaker can also clarify that.
He will finish the speech, actually. But I'm actually the admin for this department, so this doesn't actually affect me at all. I have been with this department for 22 years. I started out as the C3. We've been changed to the ACC, and now we're the AOC underneath the ICC, believe it or not. And we have asked numerous times, please let us have some people. We're running 19 people, dispatchers, in a 24/7, 365 department. They're working doubles. They're staying 12 hours a day. They're exhausted. They're tired. They even stopped us trying to keep us from coming to City Council today. They tried to keep us from coming, stopped us at the door, and pretty much begged us not to come because they're embarrassed of what they've done to us. You'll hear more details about, we have an ICC, Cheryl Hamilton designed the ICC from the technology to the blueprint on the floor. She designed the whole center. She should be running that center. On Thursday last week, they moved her into infrastructure instead of allowing her to stay with us. They are doing things that are not right, and we are tired of watching them hurt us and hurt our employees. And it's just time to be here. We brought you overtime sheets. We brought you rosters. We can show you so many things. And I hate that it's come to this. We sent a message to our director and our COO on Thursday when they sent Cheryl out the door, begging them to please meet with us because we want to talk to you. They did not even respond to us. We've been begging people for decades to please help us. Please let us staff our department. Please take care of us. Please do the right thing. Everybody around us has gotten promotions and pay raises in the friend circle while we've been ignored. We're at desperation point, City Council. We need your help. We desperately need you to do a deep dive of the Houston airport system and the HAS leadership at this point. I'm putting my job on the risk, on the table, and it doesn't even affect me. This is the dispatchers and the supervisors on the line. I'm secure. I'm safe. I'm the admin. And I'm here fighting for them and my team because this is how bad it is.
Thank you for coming. And I don't know if there's any other speakers, but I know that any employee has the right to come and speak at council, so we appreciate your voice.
Thank you. Would you like to let him? Yes, ma'am.
Just a second. Councilman Pollard.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
The entire team, and for your voice and your leadership.
Thank you.
It takes a lot of courage to stand before us, to publicly announce what you have stated, especially when it does not directly affect you. So that takes real leadership, and that's the type of appreciation that we need to show you as an employee and your entire team, because we know that you all go above and beyond, and there should not be any impediments to you all communicating to supervisors or to us or to anyone that helps you, create a more enjoyable workplace environment for you all and to give you the resources that you all need to perform at your best. So lean on this council. You can lean on my office for any type of communication and ways in which we can work on you all's behalf.
Thank you.
But you being here is necessary, and you being here has been able to give us more insight on the things that we need to do to make you all's department better. So thank you very much.
I greatly appreciate those words. Thank you.
Thank you.
I said it's not something we wanted to do, but we felt it was necessary.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
James Warren Ards, to be followed by Sarah Sam.
I'm here to continue that part of the speech. Terminal Ops has added about 5 supervisors and an additional 15 coordinators at a higher pay grade. The AOC has 6 supervisors and 19 operators currently doing the same job functions. This is a clear waste of funds and resources. We respectfully ask that you rescind the master classification plan, halt the creation of these redundant positions, thus further explaining the department, and investigate why the AOC has pretty much been put on the sideline. Furthermore, as of Monday, February 9th, our tenured leader, her name was Cheryl Hamilton, AOC Division Manager, over 30 years of dedicated service to the city of Houston, was moved out of the AOC and put to another department. That department is called the Enterprise Asset Management System, as a staff analyst, which is substantially below her wealth of knowledge, skill set, and potential in the ICC manager. Ms. Hamilton has spent a career dedicated to the city of Houston, working for the Houston Police Department, Houston Emergency Center, HAS, a variety of security roles. She was managed several departments with HAS and was worked on numerous capital improvement projects. Cheryl has worked tirelessly on the various systems we use for the ICC AOC, access control, cameras, as far as door alarms as well. In addition to the terminals, etc., and the installation of the communication equipment at both Hobby and Bush. Her most recognized accomplishment is the center that was just moved out of, that she was just moved out of, was the ICC, and that is the Integrated Coordination Center. She took a shell space and a blueprint and turned it into a nervous system that helps the HAS system today at the airport.
Your time has expired.
Councilman Pollard.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming as well. So what reasoning are you all been given for these changes?
As far as that, I think it was the Ernst & Young study. That's what they've been telling us to make the decision that they've made so far.
And you all are claiming that you believe that this is duplication, which contradicts what the Ernst & Young study was meant to try to highlight that we should steer away from, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I will.
I would say they are weaponizing the Ernst & Young against us. They're using this to continue their bad practices. They're weaponizing it against us. They're saying that they had too many managers in the ICC. They have brought somebody in from United and made him the ICC manager. He does not have half the knowledge that she has. She has been in security and technology and safety her whole career. He worked for United. It's been chaos since he moved in there. They tell him what to do and he does it. And it's not always correct, in my opinion. You ask most of the airport, you come out there and talk to employees. Come out there and talk to us, please. Come talk to us.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that offer, and I will schedule a time to talk to you all further. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Councilman Kamen.
No,
I'm sorry.
And again, I apologize. I just am trying to get to the bottom. So I hear there's been somebody that's been replaced and moved over, and it sounds like you want that individual back, and I'm fighting for her.
Well, I don't know if she'll come back, but honestly,
okay.
When before the study came out, they had decided they were going to hire 2 duty supervisors for the ICC. They offered two jobs to. Am I allowed to say names? We already said Cheryl's name.
I'd prefer to not say names just because no one else can do it.
2 duty supervisors to these 2 individuals. The Ernst & Young study came out, and neither one of them were going to have direct reports, so they retracted these 2 duty supervisor positions because of the Ernst & Young study. Both of them were offered the position. And then somehow or another, this gentleman got the job, and they gave him a few direct reports so he'd be safe. She did not get the position anymore, even though she was more qualified.
You also were talking about overtime and that there's a staff that is working pretty much
Yes,
double
that's the
shifts right
AOC.
now.
That's us.
And so is there an ask related to that? Obviously, I'm assuming addition. I'm just trying to get to the heart of
Yes.
what the ask.
They're telling us that they're going to make this new division TOPS, and TOPS is going to come in and take some of our duties and make it better. And if we're just patient, it's going to be okay. But in the meantime, our dispatchers are working 16 hours. They're working 40 hours a pay period to try to just answer the calls, the radios, and keep the airport secure, working minimum staffing 24 hours a day. Why this TOPS is not even in the section.
Okay.
While we're waiting.
I just procedurally, I don't want to, because again, I think, James, you were up speaking. Did you have anything you wanted to add? We can't procedurally switch back and forth.
Thank you. Next.
Are you done? No,
they're just that they're creating a new division, TOPS, and we got people who are already doing the job functions that TOPS is, about to take over, I'm guessing.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Sarah Sam. Pedro Mejia. Arjuman Mubarak. Minju. John Malborough. Kimberly Alexander. To be followed by Nicole Hilliard.
Good afternoon. My name is Kimberly Robinson Alexander, and I'm coming to introduce the Freedom Fast. Mayor and members of council, when this country was still an idea, not a guarantee, the weight of what America might become rested on the shoulders of a small group of people facing an uphill battle that had no reason to believe they would win. They were divided in background, belief, and interest. The odds were against them. Freedom was uncertain. It was at that point, when the colonies felt the most fragile, that the Continental Congress called for a day of fasting and prayer, a sacred pause for a civil renewal. They fasted knowing there was something worth fighting for, and they could only carry that fight together. Unity won the war. It won most of their freedom. 250 years ago, the idea of freedom did not include people who looked like me. Despite that, today I stand before you believing in the possibilities that still exist for all of our men and women. No matter the differences, to live the basic premise this country was built on, the American idea of freedom. Many of us feel the weight of an uphill battle toward unity in a nation that has always struggled for unity more than ever. The division in our country can feel so large that some quietly wonder whether we will ever achieve the dream that was a united country regardless of difference. Some wonder whether the hope of true acceptance, understanding, fairness, and freedom will ever truly be realized. But here in Houston and in cities across this nation, we are living proof that unity is not a myth. We have hope, and that hope has birthed a movement towards a realized freedom some have never seen in this country. It is woven into the very fabric of the flag we still raise. It is part of who we are, and it reminds us that this ongoing battle for unity and freedom is a test we have faced before and can face again. We have another chance to unite right. This is an invitation to be part of a nationwide movement to bridge the space between anger and understanding, between division and shared purpose, to take part in a powerful act of collective sacrifice, choosing once a month to give something up in order to make room for reflection, listening, and unity. As we approach the 250th anniversary of our country, we invite the City of Houston to participate in this historic moment, joining Americans across the nation who believe that freedom is sustained not only by laws and institutions, but by the habits we practice together. Let us commit to making this a more perfect union today by joining the Freedom Fast. Visit www.freedomfast.us to get involved. Thank you.
Next.
Nicole Hilliard. To be followed by Elfrida Franklin.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Nicole Hilliard, and I'm here on behalf of our ministry, our recovery home, Restoration Houston Ministry. We are a Christian recovery home helping men and women and their children that are struggling with addiction. We offer a 9-month faith-based program. We have been here in the city of Houston for 17 years, not operating as a business, but of a place of restoration and hope for people that need change in their life. As I come here to the mayor's office, we walk past all the hurting souls that are right outside the front door. Reminds me of the Pool of Bethesda. But I wanted to introduce our ministry to let everyone know that we're here and we want to be an essential part of helping Houston clean the streets up and help those that we can help and those that want help. I don't know if there is maybe emails or some way I can contact you all and send you more information of who we are. Our ministry is really unique in the way that we help and reach out to people. The number that we give the people and the literature that we give them when we speak to them, they're able to call this number 24 hours a day, even 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'll send a vehicle to pick them up. We're down here at this library, sometimes 11, 12 o'clock at night with the van, filling that van up and taking the people in and helping them get restored, stronger, so that they can get back into society as productive members. Amen. And that's all I wanted to say. Introducing myself and also asking for some type of partnership in helping God's people.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Hilliard, thank you so much for coming. We often say around the Horseshoe that we can't do this work alone. We need partners in the community to help us to do the work that needs to happen in the city. So I really appreciate you coming to introduce your ministry. We all have email addresses that you can shoot us the information. I'd like to have the phone number to utilize also as a resource when we come across constituents or Houstonians that may need the service. And I'd like to learn more about the ministry that you and your team are providing. If you go to cityofhouston.com, it'll pull up the city's website. It has all of our email addresses and contact information. I'm happy to give you a card too, but I'm definitely interested in learning more about the ministry that you speak of today. And thank you for having a heart for helping people.
Thank you.
Just a second, ma'am. Councilmember Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Ms. Hilliard, for coming to speak before us today. And Danelle and my office would get with you to maybe get some information. We have an initiative that we call Back on Track Houston, both, and it's about doing good work together, you know. And so we have a resource fair coming up in March and would like to maybe invite you to be a part of that because you certainly fill a gap that's very necessary out there. So Danelle is standing over by the door. If you'll visit with her, we'll get back in touch with you and get you on our list. Thank you.
Ma'am, Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Hilliard, thank you for coming. This is a good day. Got a lot of people jumping out the hip. That's beautiful. I just want to ditto what our Mayor Pro Tem just stated. As you may or may not know, there is a Mayor's Ministry Advisory Board of pastors.
Okay.
When the Mayor Pro Tem talked about collaboration, that's what we have to do. We tend to oftentimes generally, when it comes to ministry work, people like to work in silos. But the whole objective is the Ministry Advisory Board, we have a tremendous number of pastors who who are doing some of the similar things. The only thing is some don't know what the others are doing. And I'm glad that you came to make your presentation so we'll know who's doing what. I will step out and speak with you. We meet the second Thursday of every month right here at City Hall in the Mayor's Conference Room. We have at least about 70, average 65 to 70 ministries of all colors, all denominations, and we meet. And we're dealing with several issues, primarily with homeless, emergency management issues, and crime. Those are the three areas that we're dealing with. We have an organization executive board, we have a adjudicatory board, and we work in collaboration. So I'm going to step out. Of course, my chief of staff is over there too, but I'm happy to hear what you're doing. It's very interesting because, as Mayor Pro Tem said, and kind of re-emphasizing what our mayor says, everything's about collaboration. Yes. It's better when we can do it as a unit and joint. It's, it's not about show horses, it's about work horses. Right. And so I would love to as well to see you and invite you to that ministerial group because I think you'll see the benefit of it.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
Alfreda Franklin. Serna Patterson. Kelsey Powell. James Moore. Robbie Mack. To be followed by Joshua Bullard.
How you guys doing today? My name is Robbie Mack, and I am the owner of a media company, a mass media company here in the United States. I've been running into some issues. So I wanted to bring this to City Council and a lot of government bodies here in the U.S. Like I said, I'm a mass media company dealing with about maybe 30 to 50,000 people. So, it's a lot of people to deal with and also a lot of people to tame. I've done the numbers on social media, did about 50,000 views over the last 120 days or so. My issue is just just getting everything to come together. I've been engaged with the small businesses here in the city. With me dealing with the amount of people that I'm dealing with, there are some issues. I'm going through issues of piracy and, things of that nature, which are bringing issues to the business that I'm trying to produce. With me having this large following, supposedly, I'm coming to you guys because, I plan on approaching the FCC office as a public figure. So I wanted to bring this to the city of Houston along with my home state, Chicago, Illinois, because, this is a huge issue going on here in the cities right now. I'm asking that we can all get together, all of the major cities, to deal with this issue that's going on. Like I said, roughly, okay.
Your time has expired.
Okay. Okay, all right. I could be, if you guys have any further questions, I do have an email, AILEAmerica, that's spelled A as in apple, Y as in yellow, Y as in yellow, E as in elephant, A as in apple, L as in Larry, I as in idea, America@gmail.com. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Be safe.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Joshua Bullard. Lorraine Adamore. Julian Adamore. Joseph Naimi. To be followed by Coffee L. Bay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Joseph Naimi, and I'm here today to ask for accountability and a review of an incident that happened to me in Houston while I was experiencing a mental health crisis. On August 11, 2022, I was transported to the hospital by city police. During that time, my dog, my personal property, and emotional support companion was taken into custody by the city. Official police and animal control records clearly documented my name, my date of birth, and the fact that I was being transported to the hospital. However, while I was hospitalized, I was unable to treat my dog. The animal was classified as an unclaimed stray. I was never contacted. I was never given an opportunity to reclaim my bed during my hospitalization. And when I went to park, they told me, with all due respect, that police officer failed to give my information to the shelter, and my dog was already being transferred to a rescue organization after only 48 hours. I was there on the morning of August 15, 2022. This situation had a long-lasting emotional impact on me and on my well-being, and I was in vulnerable medical condition, and instead of receiving coordinated care and protection of my property, there was a breakdown in communication between police and animal control and the shelter system. I'm not here today for anger or blame. I'm here to respectfully request a formal review of how owned animals are handled when their owners are hospitalized, a review of interdepartmental communication between Houston Police and Park during emergency custody situation, a policy improvement to ensure that vulnerable residents are notified and given a fair opportunity to reclaim their animals before irreversible outcomes occur, and hopefully to get in touch with the family who adopted my dog, and if possible for retrieval. No resident is taken to hospital during a crisis should lose their companion animal due to administrative failure or lack of communication. I appreciate your time and commitment to protecting both public safety and dignity of Houston residents during vulnerable moments. Thank you.
Just a sec, Councilor Kamen.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mr. Naimi, did I say that right?
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for coming. I know this is an incident, an unfortunate incident that happened in 2022. You reached out to our office in 24,
okay,
and we connected you because the disconnect seems to be when HPD had transferred the animal, I'm assuming to Bark, they didn't notate that there was an owner, so it showed up as abandoned, and that's when it was fostered out.
It was in here. On document, it says no. It was documented that it was my name and my date of birth and then the name of the animal.
So did that get to Bark, is my question.
Which one? This is from Bark. This is from the police.
Right, that's from HPD, not. But, so there was a situation that occurred and your dog was.
That's from the Park.
Right.
So they already have it.
No, I understand that, and I know that we had referred you also to the mayor's office in the
Yes,
OIG's office, Policing Reform and Accountability, and they also spoke with you
Yes.
and had looked into the matter. I do believe, I don't have the memo in front of me, that since that time, I can't speak to the policies then, but that standard operating procedure at BARC, where dogs go, is there's a certain amount of days
I understand that.
and to which an owner can claim their animal
I understand.
if they're sent to the hospital or there's an unfortunate incident like you experienced yourself. I've been told that you're also coming not just to speak about your case, but to make sure it doesn't happen to
Yes.
someone else,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
is why, again, I can't speak to your specific case, but I do believe there are protocols in place to make sure that this doesn't happen to others. But we will certainly, as a council office, inquire further and verify that with BARC to make sure that those procedures are in place. I know we have dealt with cases before where they have held animals for their owners.
Okay.
But I can't speak specifically to your specific situation because we had referred it.
I tried every possible way to retrieve my dog. I put her to the internal affairs. I did a report to Houston police reform. I did everything I tried, but I couldn't retrieve my dog. They lost it. It's not my fault. Probably I call my daughter is missing me, and I'm missing her. And I don't know what to do. They lost it, and they said time passed, but I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for the police to do an investigation, and I'm just waiting and waiting. I don't know what to do.
Okay, Councilman Kamen, did you handle this in 22?
This incident happened in 2022. Our office was contacted in 2024. And now Mr. Naimi is still looking for still has remaining questions about the location of his dog that he would like retrieved. But again, the dog's been adopted out.
I tried with the police in 2023. Then when I failed to get any information from the police, I tried to contact you. That's when happened in 2024. So I didn't stop looking for my dog. It's all on paper. This is from the police. This is from the shelter. It shows my name. Show the picture of my dog when they had it. It's under my name.
I'll tell you what we do.
Number.
Give Rebecca Williams, Miss Williams, you talk to her, and out of abundance of caution, we'll have my office call BARC and see if they have any record. But it sounds to me like if it's been several years,
I asked them to respectfully be here to hear my case. And
I understand. Well, we're all listening.
I understand.
Let Ms. Wilson get your name and contact, maybe some ID for your dog,
yes.
And we'll verify or attempt to find out the outcome. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Rebecca, will you get Ms. Wilson? Yeah, she knows.
Coffee L. Bay, to be followed by Art Smith.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'm bringing a verbal complaint before City Council today. It's an emergency complaint for the record in reference to a corrupt HPD sergeant by the name of Matthew K. Simon. He keeps coming out to my husband and our residents, threatening our life. We fear for our life that he's going to kill us because he keeps bringing an outdated seizure warrant that was supported by a falsified affidavit by City of Houston employee Michael Expedia saying our home was vacant, and it is not. That's what allowed a seizure warrant to be granted by a municipal court judge by the name of Polly Gilligan in court number 12, and the application was put in by Arturo Michelle and a city attorney named Laura Mansfield. All of this is fraud. Michael Expedia lies so tough committed official oppression to the point where in his own exhibits attached to his affidavit, his fraud affidavit, it shows pictures where our vehicle is parked in front of our home with our lights on, alarm and everything active in us in our front yard with our puppy. So that falsified affidavit caused 5 cars of H police officers to come out on January 23rd, 2026 with 4 CenterPoint Energy utility trucks right after Governor Greg Abbott announced a state of emergency, declared that in reference to the Arctic freeze. They came out there while we was in our home at 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m. They cut our electrical line. They removed our electrical meter. They removed our gas line, and we was freezing. And all of this is corrupt, organized crime in reference to City of Houston attorneys, in reference to City of Houston employees, Mike Expedia, Tamika Graves, all of these people. Now, this sergeant, he came out to our home yesterday. He kicked our gate, he cut our chain, and he cut our lock, and he threw this falsified seizure warrant from November the 4th, 2025, on our porch. He went in our mailbox. He's not a postal worker, and it's dated November the 4th, 2025. So this seizure warrant is 95 days old. According to the state law, you only have 3 days to execute a 3-day, weekday active seizure warrant. So he feels that since he has access to this fraud seizure warrant, he can kick our gate in, cut our chains and locks, and come into our property when he gets ready. Now, my husband already have a lawsuit against the City of Houston. That's not what this subject here is about. This is another subject for a potential lawsuit. So I'm not talking about that lawsuit that's pending in the 14th Court of Appeals. That case number is 14-25-00581-CV. So we was in our home, man, while you was out with CenterPoint Energy saying that y'all trying to keep the people of Houston warm. We were freezing because they came out there illegally and cut our electrical line, removed our electrical meter, bills paid and everything, lights on. So y'all was promoting people staying warm. We were freezing in our home. And 4 people died after that Arctic freeze. And we could have died. So I consider that attempted murder upon our lives. And we have been presenting documentation to all of the City of Houston employees in reference to our home. We tried to get permits. They didn't want to give us permits. We permitted information about when those national disasters hit Hurricane Beryl, trying to get the home fixed from being damaged by 2 national disasters back to back. Okay. They denied it, and now the home is in a condition that it's in. We have our driver's license, our address. We receive utility bills and everything to prove that we live here. Yet Mike Expedia lied in a notarized affidavit saying the house is vacant.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So you don't have any solutions?
No. The legal department's been in contact with you and understand the law.
Okay, well, I have an incident report on that sergeant, and the number is 0182518-26, because I had to call 911 on a sergeant, call the police on a sergeant that worked for HPD. Because we are in fear of our lives. Now, the legal department is corrupt because Arturo Michels keep referring to something that happened on Sonora Street.
It's been reviewed. Slow down.
It's a conflict of interest to have him involved in anything.
Okay, Evan Shabazz, council member.
Thank you, Mayor. They contacted me yesterday, and of course I told them that Councilmember Tarsha Jackson is out on a medical. But if someone could perhaps engage them, they were very, very concerned and pretty afraid of the alleged actions of the police officer. So if somebody could, sit down and at least find out if there's validity to what they're saying, I'd like for us to not overlook that this could be a real problem. Now, I know they come up here and they speak out on various occasions, but this is the first time I've heard them speak that they were in fear of their lives.
Sure.
And so I don't want to look the other way if there's an opportunity for them to talk to somebody that may be able to help them. Thank you.
I can share with you legal documents. So it's been to court, been dismissed, and it became a legal matter, and the city went to court, and the judge dismissed the lawsuit
No, it's not.
Dissolved the TRO. So
It's not. It's not. But see, they don't get it. They don't want to get involved till it's dead bodies laying everywhere. All of this happened once I announced that I was running. No, all this happened once I announced that I was running for the U.S. Congressional TX-18 district and announced that I am a Republican. We have been attacked. That's what all of this is about.
Councilman Shabazz, did you want to do something?
That's a bold-faced lie because it's
I refer to you.
Because I said I am a Republican running for the USTX 18 district congressional seat.
Right.
And we've been targeted ever since.
Thanks for being here. Good luck.
What I will do, Mayor, I will consult with Councilmember Jackson's chief of staff and see if they want to give them an audience.
Our life being in danger is not a legal matter.
He just lied.
This is a criminal matter in reference to this sergeant kicking our gate in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just lied and said that the case is dismissed. It's
active
not dismissed.
Okay, thank y'all.
Active as of today.
Thank you. Listen to your lawyer.
This don't make no sense.
Next.
This is a shame.
Artsmith.
Shame on the mayor for saying such a
Okay, here we go. At this particular moment in time, I don't like to see that our mayor just told y'all a bold-faced lie because he just said that our case has been dismissed. My wife just called out the case number, and the case number is, what is the case number, Coffee?
14-25-00581-CB, and it is not.
Okay, so why would the mayor manipulate the city council? Why would the mayor manipulate the city of Houston and just come up here and lie and say that our case is dismissed? Arturo Michelle is a person that always doing things that's focused on. He defamed my name and said that I always file adverse possessions. That's a lie. I never filed adverse possession until I filed it at 4225. This officer that keeps coming to our property, man, this man is coming to kill us, man. He has no other motive to keep coming onto our property at will. When he gets ready, it's going to be a riot in Fifth Ward. I'm telling you, everybody is not going to sit back and allow my wife and I to get assassinated in our community while everybody sits back and be quiet. I am very disappointed in you, Mayor. When I came down here before, I said, man, I'm rooting for you. So please explain to me, with our case being active in the 14th Court of Appeal, and while I was in the 14th Court of Appeal, your rogue officers in the Public Works, they went down to the municipal court. If a case is in the higher court, you cannot go to a municipal court, which is a lower court, and get a ruling based on a lie. The person...
Address is in a project name entitled the Lounge National Register.
At the same time, while the city of Houston...
We're not going to resolve it today.
Wait.
I'm going to advise you to listen to your lawyers because...
I'm representing myself.
Well...
And you don't have no respect for pro se. I know that.
Okay, you've had an opportunity to talk to us. Good luck. I would say listen to your lawyer.
Can you remove your lie that you just said to everybody by saying that
No, your time's up. Your time's up. Thank you.
Can you remove your lie? Can you take your lie back?
Your time is up.
Can you take your lie back? Look at all y'all sitting up here. Can you take your lie back? You can take your lie back. Take your lie back.
Next.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, take your lie back, man. Take your lie back by saying that
We are reaching out to Councilmember Jackson's chief of staff.
Councilmember, did you want to be recognized?
I'm just letting you know that we did reach out to Councilmember Jackson's chief of staff for them to deal with the situation.
And I'll be glad to share the documents with anyone.
Thank you.
Next.
Ashley Wilkerson. To be followed by Yasmina Sebek.
Hello, everyone. Sure. So the reason that I've come here today is because I need some assistance with getting some records completely corrected. I came to visit Houston in 2022 with my kid. I essentially, before leaving, going back to San Francisco to my job and my life, I decided to report a crime network, expecting that I could do so with all of the reports about stealth weapons crimes and so forth. What happened was the same thing that has happened since I found out about it in 2008. The officer documented fraudulently that I said a higher power was carrying out crimes against me. They then weaponized the mental health authority. After that, officials started following me, telling me, sitting outside of the job, that I was working to recoup the money before I returned back to San Francisco. When I tried to go downtown to report it, essentially they searched me, a bunch of officers gathered at the table. Essentially what I discovered is that those actions were intentional and that Houston Police Department officers have been concealing a large-scale crime network that is involved in carrying out child exploitation, race conspiracies, crimes, and because of their fabricated reports, they've obstructed my ability to seek federal intervention. I would discover that though I found out about the crime network in 2008, that at the age of 16, that would be the first interaction that I had with law enforcement, where I was unlawfully stopped, a pattern of abuses would continue, and basically I was deprived of my entire life because of this group and officials. I just didn't know it. So the reason I'm here now is because I have been investigating this crime since I've been trapped here, and I need those records corrected so that I can get the FBI and other agencies to investigate the crimes honestly.
FBI would take your case, they would have access to the records, and that's what I'd recommend.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So in Sanford, the reason I came here to visit is because I went to the FBI to report child exploitation crimes about this network. I gave photo booklets, information. They pulled your records and they dismissed my reports. In the reports, it says that I am mentally ill. All of the reports are fabricated. All of them do not include statements that I have made. Some of those reports I can supplement recordings, and they are drastically different from the conversation that I've had. So because of those reports, they will not assist me, and this is a large-scale crime.
Okay. Councilman Evans-Chavez, do you want to be recognized?
No, I think that's from before.
That was previous.
That was before.
Previous. Okay, ma'am, good luck. I would stay in touch with the authorities.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, question, do you guys have any options, recommendations, anything?
I really don't at this time.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Be safe. Next.
Yasmina Sebek, to be followed by Steve Williams.
Hello, good afternoon. I have 3 minutes, correct? 3 minutes? Okay. Okay, my name is Yasmina Sebek. I've lived in Houston for about 20 years and once had an established career, home, and family. Between 2022 and 23, I gradually lost it all, mainly due to my phone being hacked, also my lack of awareness, and a group of people that have a lot of power to make things happen in their favor. There's been an ongoing hacking epidemic over the last few years. People are utilizing artificial intelligence to hack into phones, intercept calls, and impersonate voices. I've seen ATMs, one on the corner of Hillcroft and Fountain View, that has fake software. They can hack into any security device, change footage, and change audio. They have the ability to take money out of anybody's bank account without a trace. When police utilize phone tracking to go after a criminal, the hacker can virtually switch the devices, which leaves the criminal free roaming and an innocent person behind bars. They're creating fake apps and change the prices to either keep some for themselves or traffic people. Okay? They have the ability to hack slot machines, and I have seen that happen. I'm not even a little bit tech savvy, but since experiencing this for almost 6 years, I can spot a hacked device easily. In addition, several phone retailers are also involved in this corruption. In 2020, I had the same phone number for about 15 years, one email account. Since then, I've had several. I've been wrongfully arrested more than once and witnessed the person discuss bribery exchange with the officer that arrested me. I've heard this group discuss manipulation tactics and found literature supporting this subject in their possession. They told me that nobody will listen to me or believe my story. The objective is that I either kill myself or be institutionalized. All evidence of their crimes are created to make me the guilty subject. I'm a victim of modern-day trafficking. These individuals have complete control over my content, calls, emails, and texts. I can't get a job or contact any authority. I've been to the police, the FBI, and nobody will listen. They turn me away. I've told them I know organized crime, the 10 most wanted fugitives, and they turn me away. So, with that said, as you know, and I'm not making any accusations, but with today's technology, any disguise can be created that can replicate anyone. For example, several of the individuals that put me in this position look exactly like many of you, or they showed me pictures of you. People that look just like you, excuse me. Okay? Why are the police not checking my phone or verifying my claims before turning me away? I am thankful for this experience because being homeless for several months showed me a clear perspective of the corruption happening in our city. Okay? Is this country prepared to take on the responsibility of millions of visitors' security during the World Cup? We're not just talking about phones. We need enhanced security and better ID verification for all citizens, including children. We need immediate laws in place to protect the people. To be honest, I don't feel like I'm in America anymore at all.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
Oh, you don't have anything to say?
No, ma'am, we're fine. Thank you.
Steve Williams. I don't think he's here. Emma French. To be followed by Joseph Omari.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to call on this council to stop its collaboration with ICE. Some members of this council may believe that a different ICE operates in Houston and in Texas than in other parts of the country. And that's easy to believe when your city isn't on the news every night as an active domestic war zone. But understand this, the same ICE that is killing people in Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and Virginia is the same ICE that operates in Houston. They are trained the same way, and they do the same thing. They are taking away people's freedom. Is your commitment as a public servant in this country not first and foremost a commitment to the Constitution and upholding our rights? That includes the Fourth Amendment, which is the freedom of unwanted search and seizure, the Fifth Amendment, which is the right to due process, the First Amendment, the right to speak your ideas, opinions, and beliefs. All of these are being violated by ICE in Houston, and you're not doing anything to stop it. One of the recipients of a proclamation today said that when there's a need, you have to step up.
Your time has expired.
I don't think there's a situation that statements... I saw this council pray to God today, and it's hard for me to believe that that God isn't weeping at what ICE is doing in Houston. Please do something. Please look at me when I'm talking to you. Please do something about ICE. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Thank you. Next.
Joseph Amari. To be followed by Eli Montoya Rivas.
How y'all doing today? Happy Black History Month. I reported my Social Security benefit problem to the Social Security Fraud Division as well as the DA office and the Texas Attorney General. With all the little boy living in the projects in Shreveport, Louisiana, my mama had a godmother named Miss Brown, the oldest widow living in the projects. No matter what happened, Miss Brown always got her old pension check in a mailbox at the first of the month. Even when President Kennedy, Malcolm X, Dr. King, Robert F. Kennedy got assassinated, Ms. Brown's old pension check was always in the mailbox. Even during the Vietnam War complex, her check never stopped coming. The day her goddaughter, my mother, was kidnapped by her own daughters and daughters-in-law, and her son and her daughters, after turning 2, is unable to get theirs. Make you wonder who managed the American government, Treasury Department, Social Security Administration Department in this high-tech area of military martial law. Today, as we debate American immigration policy, many immigrants and undocumented workers want to go back home because there's no place like home. Black American ex-slave experience after the Civil War, after slavery was abolished, after we became free Black American people. The problem we had, we did not know what country that we came from.
Your time has expired.
Thank you, sir.
At least they know what country they got to go back to.
Thank you.
Eli Montoya Rivas.
Good afternoon, Mayor. The reason of me being here is because I pulled a pistol on somebody days ago. They waited for me outside of Iceland King's Caribbean Grill. I'm a U.S. citizen. I have the right to bear arms. They followed me. I took pictures. He started bullying me. He was upset about, he was with his wife about Melaleuca business. And then he started following me, Road Rage in 1960. So from vehicle to vehicle, my pistol is inside the holster. I reach out to her. She lowered the window. I pointed the weapon at the fire. It had the, what is it called, the lock. And I told them, stop bullying me, stop doing this to me. They have been doing this to me for quite some time. And I started in the 18th Congressional District in Keswick because supposedly we are under investigation. And I caught up to their stupid game, and I tell them, okay, if you continue, I say, I have the right to bear arms. You try to hurt me, I will shoot.
Your time has expired.
Thank you.
And this completes the list of speakers.
Recess.
We stand recessed to 9 in the morning.